I figured out Six Flags Over Georgia's next coaster. It's all but confirmed. Six Flags Over Georgia is getting a new coaster soon. Whether it's 2022 or 2023, it's coming. The question is, what will it be? A few months back, I was stumped. Like, what could they get? But then I cracked the code. I figured out Six Flags Over Georgia's next coaster. One no one ever saw coming. Usually when looking at what a park's next coaster could be, I look at their current lineup, see their gaps, and try to make predictions that could fill those gaps and benefit the park while staying within the park's normal budget and manufacturers. This time, it's different. Over Georgia is lower down on the Six Flags priority list, but it's there. They never got a free spin, but they did get an RMC, though one of the weaker ones. So, what coaster could they get next? I mean, Six Flags loves free spins, so that will be an option, though I feel like Six Flags is done with those. They haven't bought one in a few years already, though that could just be because they didn't have a park due for a coaster that needed one. So yes, the free spin is an option, but not the likeliest in my opinion. Then there's the topic of the parks need a launch coaster, so maybe a premiere, but I honestly doubt it. Now here's another option. The Mack Power Splash. We still don't know if Six Flags is into these. Like, they may just decide to buy 10 of them. But as of now, I don't think this will be their next coaster, though still an option. What other Six Flags favorite coaster did I miss? The Raptor. Six Flags seems to be buying up the Raptors now, and truth be told, they are awesome coasters for their price. And even though Six Flags seems to have no problem adding these to parks that already have RMCs, I still think they'd rather not add 2 RMCs in a row. Fiesta Texas and Magic Mountain both had another coaster in between the RMC Hybrid and Raptors. But yeah, the Raptor is still an option for Over Georgia. The 4 coasters I just named are the Six Flags style rides, but none of them are really a perfect fit for the park. You see, the free spin is, well, a free spin. And Six Flags seems to have not liked the Skyrocket 2s since they didn't buy 10 of them. A custom launch coaster is probably out of their budget, and the Mack Power Splash isn't great, assuming Six Flags even likes it. The Raptor is too soon after Twisted Cyclone. Like what, 2 RMCs in a row? I guess that's not so bad, but I think there's a better option. One option that we missed. One no one is talking about. I think Six Flags Over Georgia's next coaster will be the S&S Axis coaster with a launch. Hold on, let me explain. Six Flags loves S&S, and everyone thought they tried out the Axis model. Six Flags Fiesta Texas seemed like the most likely candidate. Cause yeah, they're the test park. However, they announced the B&M dive. Where did that come from? So they're working with B&M now? Like the video to congratulate Six Flags. Anyway, the only other Six Flags test park left is Great America, and their last coaster was Max Force, which is an S&S air launch coaster, and the one before that was an S&S free spin. So could they get another S&S? 3 in a row? I don't think so. If Six Flags had known about the Axis before they built Max Force, I think they would have built the Axis instead. But now, I don't know if they'd want that to be Great America's next coaster. The Axis coaster was literally announced right after Max Force opened. So that sucks for Six Flags. But what other park could they test the Axis out at? That's where Over Georgia comes in. Literally no one talks about this. But even though they aren't a test park, they are a backup test park for the chain. They got the first flying coaster in the chain with Superman in 2002, though that was a long time ago. But they also got the only Gerstlauer Eurofighter in the chain with Daredevil dive in 2011. So you can see the park is no stranger to testing out coasters for the chain. What if Six Flags decided to test out the S&S Axis coaster there? Now let me make it better. They never got a 4D free spin, and no park in that whole area has a free spin. So the Axis is an insanely original ride for them. Maybe that's why this park never got a free spin. If you think the Axis coaster is starting to sound like a good fit, let me make it better. The Axis coaster could feature a launch, and Over Georgia desperately needs a launch coaster. Also, with Fun Spot adding a huge RMC that will probably become the best coaster in Georgia, this is one coaster that could top a RMC. The first S&S Axis coaster is literally one of the only coasters that could build up more hype than a massive RMC. Honestly, I think there's no better fit coaster for the park than the Axis coaster. I do think budget may prevent this from happening, and Six Flags may go with one of the other options like the Raptor or Free Spin, but I really hope they choose this. And as for when I think they'll get their next coaster, I'm going with 2023, a year after Fun Spot's RMC. What do you think of my prediction? Let me know in the comments.